Hey, this video is kind of rambly, but I think it's pretty interesting. So yeah, if you want to put it in the background, go ahead. Sorry if I say that I'm gonna put something on screen and then I don't, because I probably just missed it while editing. And also sorry if I leave in anything that I say I'm gonna edit out. I apologize. Also some weird mic issues at the end. But besides that, really fun video, really fun stuff. And yeah, if you don't know what ad nauseam is, that's what this video is about. You should check it out on itch.io, play it, and yeah, enjoy the video.
Hey Squeakers, welcome back to the Rat Pack. Let's get into the mischief.
Hello, I'm recording. The beautiful and wonderful Liza May just gave us some information about the calendars, or the calendar of ad nauseam. We got all the characters' canon ages. We've got birthdays. We've got holidays and what holidays mean. This is information that is not in the game currently, so this is new content. Everyone, get your puke buckets on your head because it's time to dive in. Okay, we got some cutie pie music right here. Awesome. We're gonna start at the top and go down. This is the Sanatorian calendar. If you don't know, there's 5 months, and each month has like a second month, so there's 10. The year is 268, 10 months, 400 days. Each month is 2, like as you see here, this is Abolus, and then we have ladder Abolus here. So basically 10 months, 5 pairs. 400 days, a year, which is more than hours on Earth, okay? And that is important when we get to ages, okay? Because characters are older than they seem. Starting with the end of the Dark Age. So yeah, the Dark Age ended and stuff is now being recorded properly and organized. Sanatoria is founded, which is the entire civilization, basically. Anything that's out of Sanatoria is kind of like the wilderness, right? There's no laws there, there's no government there, there's no safety and little communication. So don't go in the wild, okay? Surly Tower's halo lights up the Grand Atrium. We actually hear about this in Disc 1. Jika tells us that during the Dark Ages, the Surly Tower was, what was it? Liurge to hit or something. It was old font. I'll put it on screen. Is the Dark Tower. It was all of Grand Atrium was just pitch black. You can imagine that. That sounds scary. Like, Grand Atrium is massive. It's like fucking huge. Imagine just going in a giant, essentially like a country-sized city. I'm assuming, like in pitch black, and like there's stairs and elevators and huge buildings, and you open up a door to like a 50-story building, and it's fucking pitch black. That's scary. They probably had flashlights and stuff, but I can hardly imagine such a giant indoor city, essentially, just pitch black. That is really scary. So I can bet not a lot of people went into Grand Atrium, so now you can actually see in Grand Atrium. And the Dark Age was ended, which, you know, kind of makes sense. Dark Age, now it's light. It's kind of a double meaning. That's pretty cool. It's pretty smart, if you ask me. So yeah, Sanatoria was now founded by the first Sanatorian retainer, Ruja, and that's pronounced Ruja. This is some little added knowledge here. When you see the ZH and stuff, that, like, in J, it's actually pronounced like Ja or Je, because this is actually from old font. So whoa, there you go. Or has roots in old font, I should say. The first floor documents are written to revise the Ground Zero documents into a usable constitution. Yes, so I might cut in here in the future version of me, and when I pull up the game, because I'm kind of rusty on this, but in Disc 1 it's talked about the Ground Zero documents. I believe there's these Ground Zero documents, and they don't seem to be too usable. They might even be in a different language, in old font, or maybe LibreCode, I'm not sure. But yeah, the first floor documents are then a kind of a revising as an essential, like a constitution, right? Like a law, like this is how you operate the world, civilization, stuff. So yeah, the first floor documents, and you can tell by the way, goes from ground zero to first floor, kind of like elevators. So that's a cool little fact there. So yeah, that was 268 years ago, which for us it would be around almost 300 Earth years ago. So yeah, now we are in Abylos. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know in Disk 0 there is information about all the months. We know Abylos is wet, it's watery, it's kind of a wet season, which we don't really like. Sanatoria or the clinic has 5 seasons, I believe, while here on Earth we only have 4. So I believe, this is my assumption, that the 5th extra season they have is more of a wet season. So yeah, it seems like they have a cold season, a wet season, a drafty season, and then the other 2 maybe a dry, and I'll have to cut in with more knowledge after. But Abylos seems to be is the wet one. It's very rainy, and you might be wondering, how do seasons work in a building, in a huge interior. It's described that in Abylos, like, there's more things melt because the way the world is, like, frigid complex is elevated, right? And there's a lot of ice, and water melts, and water comes from all sorts of places anyway, right? Like pipes and stuff. So there's just more leakage, there's more stuff leaking, and they can almost have their own sense of like rain from like stuff coming from the ceiling, which is cool. I believe that might actually be what Rise over. Yeah, it rains endlessly. So we'll get to that. I'm excited because I actually haven't read a lot of this stuff. It's gonna be new to me. So yeah, Abylos. I'm just going so slow. This is fucked. Yeah, it's also purple, and it is confirmed that this is intentionally color coded, of course. So yeah, purple. Purple for Serene, which makes sense because her birthday's here. It's something we're told. The horoscope animal, I believe, of Abylos is a squid, which obviously relates to Serene. She has a lot of squid imagery. It's her nickname and everything. So yeah, wonderful. Liza May just updated me with the seasons so I don't have to look for them. So everyone say thank you, Liza May, as always. We have 5 seasons. Abylos and Latter Abylos, the purple months. It's soggy, humid, wet, and rainy. So yeah, humid, I see. Wet and rainy were right, and very soggy. For Acadia and Latter Acadia, we see this kind of green, a little yellow-green. Humid, hot, a lot of bugs, damp, and dim. Okay, so I see. So these aren't directly like Earth seasons. They're more unique, which I like. So this is kind of like a mix of like a little summery, but also not. A little springy. And then there's bugs and shit. And I like that it's dim. Dim is cool. It's like darker. And yeah, these are pretty disconnected, it seems, from Earth. Obviously, as always, everything is. Saddleclaw is bright, dry, nice, and warm. And we got yellow. That makes sense. Yellow is a warm color. We've got Weiss, which is bright, dry, nice, cool, and breezy. And it's this nice orange. So breezy, you can think like a lot of the vents, like circulating air and stuff, which is cool. And then with the icy blue, it's dim, cold, breezy, and there's no bugs. That makes sense. Hell yeah. I like that the lights change with the season. That's really cool to me. I don't know why, but I find that really cool. Like, imagine walking through the clinic and seeing, like, it's just kind of more moody, it's dimmer, and then other times it's nice and bright. That's really cool. I would love that. Alright, sorry, there's so much to scroll. Okay. Back to Abylos. Serene's birthday is on the 8th of Abylos. And yeah, she's born. There's no information. She does have amnesia, so it makes sense that she doesn't remember her birthday. But I mean, come on, we're all thinking something sussy here, right? This is a good opportunity for her birthday to be something weird or special. I feel like she might be really old, or there's some information here. Another thing is Serene's name, right? On her body report, she's Serene 1. She's like the only or the first person with that name. And we don't know her, like, she doesn't remember her birthday. It wasn't recorded anywhere in her room. It's very intriguing to me. I feel like there's more at play here, as always. So it's very intriguing. I like this a lot. So yeah, and then the rest of Abolus, we start on the end of the month, the last 2 weeks, which are only 8 days because the weeks are much shorter than hours. But 8 days is still a lot. Rise over Abolus. Here we go. A yearly weather event takes place in Natatoria, which is how you pronounce it, I believe, in which it rains endlessly for 4 weeks, 16 days. Oh, it's not 8. You're right. Okay, 16 days. My bad. I didn't scroll. Okay, 16 days of endless rain. That's crazy. Can you, like, I guess in Natatoria, they have the infrastructure for that, right? Because when you read the description of Natatoria, it's all like tiles, there's pools, there's probably a lot of drains, but if you can imagine this thing happening elsewhere, like holy shit, like that's another thing about the rain that I'm very curious about to learn more. In Earth, it rains, right? What do? You go inside, but there is no outside. Like Serene's room can just start raining, right? Like her room is just gonna get covered in water. Like I can only imagine that maybe it's a thing with residential area. This is all speculation, by the way, but like yeah, it's just something I'm very curious about. The infrastructure of the clinic, like genuinely really it intrigues me so much. It's so weird and like nerdy, and you would maybe assume like in real life, like I'm not like ripping apart the walls of a building and like, oh, how does it work? Where do the pipes go? Where do the like I don't give a shit. But the clinic is so fascinating and way more interesting. So I'm so intrigued. I have no idea how it works, and it's so cool. Anyway, that was a tangent. People celebrate this holiday by decorating gilded fish, racing recombinant slippery streamer fish bred for speed in lazy rivers, handcrafting umbrellas, and spending the days in various pools. Most popularly, Saline Wake and its local amusements. Okay, so the gilded fish we've learned about with the the piece of papers, the love notes or whatever that Serene gets in her room by Benny, which is a character. She mentioned that I think Serene's eyes remind her of gilded fish and that they're pretty. And yeah. So people decorate gilded fish, which is interesting. I guess they're real fish that you decorate. That's kind of cool. Or they're dead fish that you eat and decorate. I don't know. You race recombinant slippery streamer fish. Okay, so seems like these slippery streamer fish are bred by people in the clinic, right? Because you can imagine that they're pretty good at what's the word? Biogenetics, like breeding animals, and like domestication and stuff, and you know, kind of like how we have in our world where we make animals over years and stuff. We select traits, and like with dogs, how, you know, stuff like pugs change and stuff. It seems like these slippery streamers, I can imagine, probably have streamers on them, right? Like their tails are very maybe frilly, so when they go through the water, it looks really pretty, right? They were bred to have longer maybe fins and gills and stuff. I'm not sure. Also, Liza's saying that recombinant, which I had no idea what that word meant, I was about to look it up. Recombinant means made by genetically combining other creatures' DNA to make something entirely new. Okay, so this is something we don't have on Earth. This is like completely like this genetic combination thing. They're part oarfish and betta fish. Okay, that makes sense because betta fish are super pretty. Here we go, some betta fish here. You see how they have this very frilly, almost like a dress behind them, and you can imagine watching this fish like swim, right? It would look really pretty to see it go, but the betta fish are really small, right? Well, boom, watch this. Oarfish. Oarfish are huge, right? They kind of have these frills as well, and that would look really pretty. So imagine this fish, but with the dress of a betta fish, would look super pretty. So yeah, these fish, they race these fish by breeding them, kind of like horse racing, and other festivals have like I think there's chicken racing, and like there's a bunch of different animals that people make race during festivals. So in lazy rivers, right, these huge, they're probably way larger in Adatoria, but they would let the fish out and they would go swim, and they would race, and everyone would be standing around, eating food, having fun, watching the fish. Maybe they even bet on the fish. That's sick. Love it. That's so cool. I want to go there. And yeah, they're bred for speed, of course. Handcrafting umbrellas, of course, because it's fucking raining. You're gonna need umbrellas. Handcrafting it is really cool. I can imagine they're probably very decorative. In Natatoria, the people there are eccentric. They love arts and crafts. They love art. They love all this stuff. So I bet people come over to come over to Natatoria during this event, this weather event, and this festival, basically, to maybe get a nice umbrella that's made by some weirdo, eccentric, Natatorian artist, right? Handcrafted. And yeah, spend the days in various pools. That would be great. Hanging out in a fucking wonderful pool with all this stuff. Saline Wake, I believe we heard about. I'll cut in with more info, but I believe it's like just the largest pool or something about it. Or an amusement park. Yeah. And yeah, there is a lot of amusement parks and water parks, essentially, in Natatoria. People also craft and decorate floats for the upcoming Rise Over Lazy River Parade. Okay, so yeah, so they have a parade, right? But it's on the water in a lazy river. Alright, cutting in from Liza May, the largest pool, basically an ocean, has beach entries and aisles like little aisles, like island thingies with theme parks. Awesome. Yeah, it's a hard word to say. Aisles. I don't know how to, I'm bad at it. So yeah, that's Saline Wake, the largest pool. It essentially is an ocean. And it has little beach entries and little aisles with theme parks. Cool. Now we have the parade, which, can you just imagine an indoor ocean? Like, that's ridiculous. The ocean's already unfathomable, right? And a lot of the clinic already is unfathomable, right? Like, when you look at how fucking large everything is. But, like, an entire ocean indoors, just being indoors at a pool. Like, an indoor pool, and you're stepping on the tile, and you have everything that's, close to you. Like, there's chairs and shit, and you can look at them and say, that's a chair. And then you just look forward, and the pool has, like, a sheer cutoff, right? Unless it's, like, a beach entry, we'll have some sand or something similar. And then it just goes on forever. Like, you can see the roof, and it just goes on into the horizon. The water just goes on. It's like, what the fuck? That's crazy. Okay, yeah, so a beach entry pool. Here we go. You can see there's a gradual incline, right? So you can kind of wade in there. It's not a sheer drop like, other pools. Like that. Like, that's not a beach entry pool. But you can see there's like the gradual incline here, which is cool. And it's got this like sand that's not sand, I imagine. Like, um, here's a really good example. Imagine this, but like scale it up to the entire fucking ocean, and it's like wide, and maybe it gets deeper as you continue on, or probably not. It's probably just like this the whole way. Wow, that's actually crazy. The entries are massive. People play volleyball in the shallows and stuff. Okay, so yeah, there's shallows and deep parts. Um, but yeah, that's sick. Look at this. Also sponsored by Thursday Pools, by the way. Make sure to use code Malrats. No, I'm kidding. That's sick. That's sick. I love that. I love that it's shallow. Like there's a huge part that's just shallow. Like you can just walk and you can see everyone like just playing volleyball and shit and just standing in the water, right? The parade. Everyone, the parade's starting. Get ready. The Rise Over Parade begins, filling the major lazy rivers with beautiful handcrafted floats, which make their way all around Natatoria's major atriums, manned and ridden by their crafters. Every crafter that participated in float construction takes 2 weeks off and gets to collect drinks and festival foods from the people living adjacent to the lazy rivers as they drift along the way across the free days. Oh, that's sick. Alright, so they fucking work really hard making these awesome handcrafted floats, right? Very pretty and shit. And then they get to on the parade, which by the way, the parade is 2 weeks, 8 days long. This is a caravan. It's a parade float caravan of these super crazy, beautiful, artsy like floats going throughout Natatoria major atriums, which are like long. This is a road trip. This is very long. Like it's huge. To go that far. And during all of this, like they're on the floats, right? Like you can imagine they're on the floats and people are gathering to watch this from all over and throughout all of Natatoria, right? And you know, people will just hand them over, you know, treats they've made, gifts and stuff because they put a lot of work into this stuff. So I'm wondering that some of this is almost like an art appreciation thing, right? Because Natatoria is all about you know, artsy stuff. So this is the artist making a huge project, a huge work of art that they then get to kind of bask in, right? They get to ride it and man the float and get gifts from people, and they don't have to do anything. They can kind of just laze about on the lazy river and get all these wonderful rewards, and they just drift along across their free time, which is sick. That's sick. Love it. This is so cool. This is so unique. We're not even past the first like holiday. This is sick. This might be my favorite holiday. That's so unique. That's unlike anything to think about. This massive lazy pool system network and all these people and these the beta fish or fish being crazy looking and pretty, and the floats probably look similar, right? Think about how much aquatic stuff is frilly, like jellyfish and fins and stuff. The floats would look so cool. I want to go there. I want to go there. And to top it off, at the end of Aboleth, we got Rivian's birthday. Lovely Rivian. She was born in a frigid complex nursery, which I believe we knew that. Rivian is Yuffie's older sister. Now, I believe it's an adoptive sister. Don't even really know what that means in the context of what sisters even mean, because we don't know much about, I guess, genetic. We don't know much about how this stuff works, like babies being made, right? If anyone knows how babies are made, please tell me in the comments. I keep trying to ask my parents. No one's telling me how babies are made. Anyway, you know what I mean. Fucking around. So yeah, Rivian. Hold on. I need to gather my notes here. Liza May is saying that if you're adopted by the same mother, that you are indeed sisters. Awesome. And we know Rivian and Yuffie are sisters, and I have their ages here. I calculated them myself. Yuffie, this is a jump ahead. Yuffie is 28 sanatorian years old, which is 30 years old for us Earthlings, which is sick. And Rivian is 38 Sanatorian years old. Sanatorian years old. Why am I saying it like that? I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. And Rivian is 41 Earth years old. So yeah, they are 10-ish years apart. And so Rivian was the first. And then she grew up to be around 10, and that's when Yuffie got adopted by the same mother. And for the Rivian Yuffie lore, it's mentioned in game. Very briefly, it seemed, I'll go over it. The mother that adopted was pretty bad and abusive, and it got to the point where Rivian didn't want Yuffie to go through the same thing, and essentially kidnapped Yuffie from the adopted mother. We don't know when this happened. It seems like it was around the teenage years. Maybe, I guess Rivian was around 16, 17 maybe, and Yuffie would have been 6-ish, and just took Yuffie and left and never came back. And yeah, and something happened between the two. Rivian broke something very valuable of Yuffie's, so valuable that Yuffie cut ties and I guess lived on her own. We don't really know. She either was old enough to live on her own or she found someone else to live with. But yeah, they don't, as of today, they do not talk anymore. Even though Rivian really wants to, Yuffie just completely freezes at the situation, it seems. Very interested to see what happens between those two. Rivian being 38 in Senatorian years, I always pictured her as being older, right? She just has that vibe. Now, how much of that is because she is a tips, right? She is authority. She has authority over us, and majority of, like, a lot of people, she has status and power, right? As a tips person. So in my head, that already means, like, you're older, right? But 38 Senatorian years is not that old at all, especially compared to the rest of the characters, like Yuffie being 28 and 38, like that's not that big of a difference. Which I find really cool about age in general in the clinic is it's really nebulous. It's really, like, you really need to try and wash away your Earth bias. When we think of people, we care so much about, like, age groups and, like, 20s and 30s and 30s and 40s and stuff, right? Like, once you hit your 30s, you kind of have your shit together, right? But some characters who seem maybe more juvenile or something, or they don't have as much, like, quote unquote status, right? That stuff is all nothing. Like, Rivian could be like 20 in her 20s, right? Like, we really don't know. Like, what I'm trying to say is when characters, they age and there's no old age, right? There's no wrinkles, there's no becoming senile, there's no loss of memory, there's no loss of motor functions, right? You seem to plateau around, I guess, young adult. That's my assumption from looking at the girls, right? So once someone hits that stage, you have no idea how old they are, right? So I think that's really cool because the accomplishments of the characters, right? Like, you know, Piamat owning a pharmacy and stuff, like, and Jika being a retainer, and Rivian being a tips, like, their age isn't really important. Their age is more like how long have they been around to do cool things. So yeah, I just think that's really cool. I don't know if any of that made sense. It's really hard because it's so nebulous, but basically that whole like us on Earth, the way we look at age, we are biased inherently, but in Sanatoria, there's like no bias. So you kind of have to scrub that away, and it's kind of hard to, but it's really interesting. That, you know, hearing a 122-year-old girl, right, you're like, holy shit, she must be old and frail, and no, that's Jika. She's like the coolest fucking girl in the world, and she has the weight of the world on her shoulders, and it makes sense, because, like, it makes sense that she's that old. Like, she knows so much, she's been around so long, and she's really worked hard, and her becoming retainer, if I remember, like, is a little recent too. Like, people have these stages to their life because there's no death. So, and I think Piamat, I could be wrong, but, like, characters talked about, like, there's multiple retirements too, and multiple stages, and it's just really cool. It's completely different, and you kind of have to scrub away your human eyes to look at how they, you know, live and view the world. I'm just rambling, but it's super cool and super interesting how much the characters can fit into their lives now because they don't worry about death. and they don't get old and die, so they can just do so much shit. They have so many jobs and so many responsibilities, and you kind of hit adulthood and you're off. You can do anything, right? While more in our world, you kind of takes into your 30s and 40s when people kind of look at you and say that you've got your shit together, right? But all these characters, from looks the youngest girl we have is 30 to 130. They all are equally have their shit together, which is sick. Anyway, rambling over, it's now Acadia. Everyone get ready for the weather of Acadia. It's nice and humid. There's bugs. It's hot. It's damp. It's dim. Kind of reminds me of like a jungle, maybe. Obviously not looks like that, but jungly weather. So everyone get your loose clothing on, because it's gonna get humid now that we talk about Acadia. And speaking of the girl, Jika was born, this is new, from a Daughterfly Garden nursery. What? That's sick. I never would have expected that. I don't know what I would have expected. I guess she's so Grand Atrium in my mind, but Daughterfly Gardens, that place, very religious, very culty, very pretty, very dangerous despite its prettiness. It's got a lot of plant life, it's got a lot of bugs, it's got greenhouses and stuff. Very sick. Very surprising indeed. Also, I don't know if you can see this on my screen, but look at this. It's 444, or it's 44, but if you're in Texas, it's 444. Shout out to anyone who lives in Texas. Wonder who that could be referring to. But yeah, Daughterfly Gardens, that's really cool. So yeah, Jika was born like Sanatorian year 146, right? That is half the time of the current era, okay? So she was half an era ago, basically. She was born. And she is 130 Earth years, right? Year old, which is crazy. And that is very intriguing, because she seems to have a lot of connections. She knows a lot of things. She's very secretive. She's very powerful. She is the girl, So that makes sense, and that is super sick. Also, this is my conspiracy theory. How do we know this is true? Because I wouldn't be surprised, because when we learn in Disc 1 that Jika, about her becoming a retainer, she came out of nowhere, right? There was no retainer, and then boom, Jika came in, and she's fucking professional as hell. She's awesome. She's kick-ass. No one heard about her, right? And it seems like when a new retainer's coming, like people hear about, who's the candidates are maybe, but no, Jika just popped in. So was she really born in this year? Or does her history go even farther back? Because I would be surprised, but I would not be surprised if it went even farther back. Another thing about it, when we talk about characters maybe being really old, characters also having weird names. Serene points out that Jika's name is unique, I believe. It's like fun to say, and it's a strange name. So yeah, girl with a strange name, very old, and comes out of nowhere and just takes on the hardest job ever. It's very suspicious. I mean, she definitely earns it and should be the retainer. I can't see anyone else taking her job, but yeah, super cool. I'm super intrigued. So yeah, and that's the first Acadia. Now we have Latter Acadia. We have our Acadian holiday. Food fair. No idea what this is. Must have to do with food. Food fair, a massive celebration of local foods and cuisines, encourages people to travel by foot and autorail to try new things they have never tasted before. That's sick. Wow. Okay, so the weather is humid and hot, right? So and it's a day all about food. So you're going out and it's nice and warm, and the lights are dim and shit, and you're going all around the clinic, wearing all these foods. You can imagine probably all the food places, businesses, restaurants are doing specials, right? Discounts, and they have stalls, I bet, and you come over, you grab food, like fair food, I imagine, right? It's called food fair, right? So you can imagine stuff, crazy food, yummy ass food going all around the clinic, getting fish from Natatoria, getting pastries from Grand Atrium, getting. As I said, rainforest cafe. Maybe you mean like because of the weather? Like, wait, what do you mean rainforest cafe? Like they have big like visual stuff. Okay, the weather. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's got the rainforest cafe vibe. It's nice and humid and stuff. like like a rainforest. It's kind of like the weather, and you're going around getting a bunch of yummy food. No, that's sick. I want to do this. I want to go around the clinic with a bunch of people and eat some yummy food and some diabolical combos of food. It's Liza's saying it's very cultural exchange. I see. Yeah, I mean, that'd be sick going to a part of a ward that I've never been to and like, trying the fish of Natatoria and stuff. Many wings open their borders. Okay, so yeah, there's wings in the clinic that are closed, little sub-wards, sub-communities that have very unique, isolated cultures that kind of open up during this day so people can come in and try these things that they never get to any other day of the year, which is sick. I love it. I would kill to eat some fucking sanatorium food right now. Now we got Saddleclav, which, as I mentioned, is bright, dry, nice, and warm. Sounds very pleasant. And we're starting it with Giving's Day around the end of the month. Oh my goodness, we have a lot of information. Okay, Giving's Day during the warm month. Prior to Giving's Day, one person from a friend group is chosen to be Miss Givings for the holiday. They also decorate the local auto rail tracks with photos of friends from the past year. Okay, so you can imagine the auto rail tracks. Like, think of like, I can only imagine like a subway with the subway's gone though. Or just around the subway area, the auto rail area, like there's just photos of so many people, right? So many people's friends, which is just really cute and sweet. On the day of Giving's Day, Miss Givings makes her way to a friend's house by the auto rail, collecting their friend along with their gifts, decorations, toys, and food in a shopping cart. Then draws straws to pick the next house. Okay, so the person who gets to be Miss Givings, right? Like we can think of Serene gets to be Miss Givings. So she goes on the auto rail, and goes to, let's say, Peanut's house and gets gifts, decorations, toys, and food all in a cart, like a shopping cart. And then they go to the next house. So now Serene and Piamat, with all their presents, go to another house, like Yuffie. And then they all go to Leda, and then they all go to the next girl, right? That's sick. And then you can have all these people together with all these treats and toys and shit, having a good time. And, oh, surprise, we're here. Like, it's your turn. Like, how you doing? What did you get? And everyone's talking. Like, that's sick. This is repeated until everyone's together and all the sticks are drawn, after which everyone sets up and throws a party at the last house using the collective party supplies. Okay, so everything in the cart then gets used at the last person's house, so you don't really know where the party's gonna be. That's really cool. So imagine not being Serene, like you're like Leda, and you're like, oh, when am I gonna get picked? When am I gonna get picked? It's taking some time, and then boom, they all show up, an entire cohort of your friends in a very jolly mood, and they all have like toys and decorations and balloons and food. They're like, hey, we're at your house, let's party. And probably some of them are drunk, I would imagine. That'd be sick. I want to do this. We're not even done, and this might be my favorite holiday. What the heck? Everyone must have a present for each of the friends prepared, which best represents your time spent together and the things you've learned about them. Giving's Day gifts essentially represent how well you've gotten to know your friends, how much closer you've grown, and how well you know the things they enjoy, and the type of person they are. After opening gifts, everyone votes on who brought the most accurate or desired gifts, irrelevant of cost, and they are named Miss Givings the next year. Okay, sick. So it's basically the entire year that you're hanging out with these people or hanging out with these friends. You get to know them, you get to know their interests, what things they like, media and games and hobbies and art and, what they do for work, things they like, things they don't like, and it's basically a time for you to bundle up all that knowledge and those feelings and your care and love for them into a gift, and you give it to them to be like, what the hell would this person who I've known for this past entire year and gotten to know for this past year, what would this person love? What is the best, basically, how can I give this person the best gift possible, considering what the last year was like with them? So yeah, that's super sweet. I mean, on Earth, like, yeah, we have things like Christmas. Yeah, we have things like birthdays where you have gifts, but this is way different. This is the whole point, is making the gift be special. Like, on Earth, like, are we ever gonna get the best gift ever that is curated perfectly for us? I'm not sure. Some people might be really lucky and get that multiple times, but for a lot of people, Christmas is sometimes a chore, and sometimes it's like, oh, I'll get you socks, or I'll get you this, or I don't know what to get you, But this is like really personal, really lovely, really empathetic and caring. This is awesome. It's so special. Everyone here in the friend group's gonna cry when they get their gift, and whoever got the best gift, obviously price doesn't matter, and they get to be Misgivings next year, which is sick. According to myth, now we get to the mythology. Misgivings is a woman who would disguise herself as someone unfortunate or down on her luck throughout each year. If you helped her, you would be added to her friends list. At the end of the year, she would wander from ward to ward, collecting everyone who assisted her, and then would throw them all a giant party where she gave out gifts. The tradition spread from those who were part of the original parties to share the love, and now it's become the second largest Sanatorian holiday after Promise Day. That's awesome. Okay. So this one girl was just so cool and the sweetest girl ever. And now the whole ward does it once a year. That's sick. Oh, that's so cool. That's like you get your genie wish once a year. You get like a gift that's going to like crush your heart with how sweet it is and useful and kind, and just imagine like being one of these like characters who has been in a friend group for like 10 years. And your house will just have these like trophies, these like idols of love and care. Oh, that'd be so cool. And you get to live forever, so you get to have like 1,000,000. That's sick. Alright, Ladder Saddleclave. No holidays. It seems like, I could be wrong, but so far each month has one holiday that may be broken. We'll see. As we continue to Weiss, the lovely month of Weiss. Bright, dry, nice, cool, and breezy. Wonderful. I like the breeze. I like the coolness. I would really enjoy this season. Might be one of my favorite season. We'll see at the end. The holidays will count a lot into my favorite season, but yeah, Weiss, we have Yuffie's birthday, which we had to guess in Disc 0, but in Disc 1 you can learn from Rivian that her birthday is this day, and her year, which she is 28 in Sanatorian years. She's 30 on Earth, and yeah, born in Daughterfly Gardens nursery, which we didn't know, and she currently lives there. I said currently like twice. Yuffie lives in Daughterfly Gardens, which is very interesting to me. Why she would want to go there? I mean, I guess she could go. It's a big place, but I'm curious if that has to do with her parents. Some speculation here. Alright. Ars Festum. That looks Latin. Ars Festum. Festum, like festive? Festival? We'll see. A Sanatorian-wide Comic-Con-like event is held where artists, media companies, and creators host booths, foods, and experiences with goods and related to characters in media of all kinds. Okay, so it's the whole world Comic-Con, basically. That's sick. Booths, foods, experiences, good related characters. Oh, that's crazy. That's like, to put that in perspective, that's like if you went to like your entire town or city was just like decorated with like Serene Space and like purple Serene ice cream and stuff. Because this clinic is huge, right? And I would bet there's probably like areas or wings that are dedicated to certain franchises, certain characters, stories, and stuff. there's probably concerts everywhere and meet and greets and cosplay. That's sick. Most attendees cosplay their favorite characters. Also, it's kind of like Halloween too, where it's a costume day, a cosplay day. Although Ars Festum is only officially one day, people usually set up their booths early and keep them open for a week after the day of. Yeah, I mean, I would also do that. I would not. I would want it to be for the whole year. I would never take off my cosplay, even in the shower. It stays on during sex too, of course. Later Weiss. Corpus Amor. Here we go. So yeah, here we have a second holiday. So I was wrong. Corpus Amor. I know amor means love, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe. Corpus Amor. This also looks Latin or something. Myrthian celebration of the human body as a sacred gift and daughter of Mary. Corpus Amor usually includes handcrafted statues and sculptures of naked women. Oh, yes! This was mentioned. Leda got Serene a naked woman statue sculpture for this day as kind of a gift because she thought it was really funny because Leda's a goober. A naked woman body contest with multiple ranking groups, holistic healthcare via harmonics and supplements, in celebration of both family and strangers, and parading around town with religious jewelry such as gorgets, rosaries, and inverted spades. Whoa, that's a lot. Hand-carved statues. Sick. Body contest with multiple ranking groups. Okay. Body contest is a celebration of the human body as a sacred gift. Okay. So, Merithian. Okay. So, like, religions that follow Mary and stuff, they view the human body as a sacred gift because you're the daughter of Mary, right? So this is the day where you celebrate your gift, your body. That's why, there's the sculptures of the body of a naked woman. There's contest. What could the contest be about? I can assume there probably is a beauty pageant. There's probably like, oh, look at this girl with the longest hair and stuff like that, with multiple ranking groups. So that's sick. Holistic healthcare via harmonics and supplements. Okay, so a day of healthcare. Harmonics. Is that a real thing? Holistic healthcare via harmonics and supplements. Okay, so like going around giving supplements around or celebrating like a day of healthcare, right? Kind of like a charity day, at least in this aspect. Celebration of family and strangers. So I imagine there's a party or a dinner, right? Parading around town with religious jewelry, gorgets, rosaries, and inverted spades. Okay, and then like a religious parade as well. Drinking saline as a symbol of true belief of it being Mary's blood is common, as is the consumption of saline-soaked breads baked in the bodily shapes. Whoa. Okay, so yeah, they have their own holiday food, which is like drinking saline, which is just like salt water, I'm pretty sure, which, I don't know if I would want to drink that, or salt water soaked breads. I mean, I would for the holiday. Countercultures in certain local areas have perverted it into a celebration of aesthetic body alterations, implants, and modifications that Merithians may consider disrespectful to the sacred tenet of preservation. Okay, so then there's the edgy side where people were like, yeah, fuck you, Mary. Where areas kind of don't really care about Mary, or maybe even dislike Mary and shit, they alter their body in ways that may be considered disrespectful to Merithians. So if I could imagine, I don't know exactly what would be disrespectful, but maybe stuff like super like gauges, right? Like those things in your ear, and like people who have like all sorts of implants all over their body, like piercings everywhere. And I mean, Anna has crazy implants that like I don't really know about yet, but crazy like saltations. So I guess there's the other side where it's a celebration of the other side of the body, right? Like implants, modifications, and stuff. The aesthetics of a body. Probably, yeah, that's cool. Corpus Amor. Okay. Is corpus, I mean, it makes you think of corpse, and corpse is like a dead body, so there's probably some Latin here. Maybe I'll come in with some text on the screen. I don't know. But that's sick. That is a sick holiday. Like, I like that despite it coming from the religion, it's not like barred to just be religious. Like, it is fun. It's not lame, right? Like how it sometimes is in real life, but like this is not lame. Like, you get to have fucking sculptures of naked women. Like, if they had that, I'd be going to church every day, right? Come on. All right, Peanut's birthday. Born from an MS nursery, Mariel Sweets. Makes sense. Makes sense to me. I would have guessed that. Let me look real quick. How old is she? Where did I put it? Piamat is 33 years old on Earth and 31 years old in the clinic. Sick. Yeah, Yuffie, Tiamat, and we'll get to later, are all around 30, 28, and 29. So yeah. I can assume Serene is around that age, or she's really old. Like, older than the clinic. Like, not the clinic, older than 268. That's my two assumptions. Yeah, here's Layden's birthday. Born from a FC nursery, frigid complex. Huh. That kind of makes sense to me. Like, that fits. I could see that. This is my, like, horoscoping vibe-based analysis. That makes sense. And yeah, like I said, Leda is 29 in Sanatoria and 31 on Earth. And then, so we actually have a date on Iridil. The 14th of Iridil. 4 years, 6 years, of course it's 6. 6 years before the start of Ad Nauseam, Saralina from Idenai, the lovely rat, moves to Rise and Shine. Wonderful. We don't know how long, because it is, oh my god, because in Idenai, Saralina is very unreliable, especially towards the end. We do get a time frame a little bit, but we don't really know how long the events, like when that game ends. And so, yeah, you know, we don't really know when it ends. It seems like it could even be year. And yeah, Liza May is saying that the 6 is deliberate. Of course, as expected. So yeah, that's very interesting. We don't know exactly how long Ed and I went for, because there is the day timer, and at the start it goes, but it starts to get obscured, and we can't rely on how many days it is, but it looks like at least 100+ days. So yeah, sick. Oh, and here we go. This is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets very interesting. This is the last month, but the most packed month, okay? This is the cold one. I forgot to say Iridil is cold, dim, breezy, and there's no bugs. Just from the weather, I would really like this one. Yeah. Here we go. The 6th of Ladder Iridil. The wonderful story of Ad Nauseam starts. Well, it doesn't start here, but you know what I mean. Serene wakes up. Also, wait a second. 2 years on the same day, 2 years ago, on the same day? I didn't know it was the same day. Serene lost her memories on this day? Wait a second. That is important. What do you mean 2 years ago on the same day? You're blowing my mind. What? The same day. I'm getting confirmation. Serene is discovered mutilated and unconscious outside Happy Times Mall, rescued by Maves and Yuffie. Yeah, so we hear about that in D0. And 2 years later, and within these 2 years, she is alive. She becomes a Psy-Spec. She meets Leda. She meets Yuffie. She gets her bearings and all this stuff. And then she wakes up from her surgery with Codatine, right? It's not just some random day. It might feel like a random day, but this one kind of recontextuates it. I definitely didn't say that right. That might not even be a word. This one makes it interesting because we learn that the medicine, it's very obscure. You might have missed it, but the anesthetic that Serene gets put under is weird. It's wacky. It's scary. It's found in rooms labeled death. You know, something weird is going on. Obviously, there's more going on. It's always more going on. And now it's even more interesting knowing that the day she woke up and got this codeine 2 years ago was when she fucking got mutilated and lost all her memories. It's the anniversary of her losing all of her memories. Very interesting. And yeah, it's only going to get more interesting once we learn shit, because we're only in disc 1. What the hell? Okay, so yeah. Then the next day, you know, news day, it starts. Tensday the 7th. Adna disc 1. You know, spoilers ahead. Obviously, I already fucking spoiled so much already. Well, disc 1 spoilers ahead is what I'm saying. You know, we go to Sturley. We kind of freak out on the freak juice a little too much. Can't handle the pill gun. Hallucinate. Almost psycho break is what Piamat says. We meet Sindine, and Sindine goes dormant for 2 weeks. And Jika tells us that we have a job on the next day with Valley as our partner. And that next day is El's Day, Adna Disc 2, which is not out yet as of this recording. It's in development. There has been a trailer, right? We can see some stuff in that trailer of what's gonna happen. But yeah. Also, there's a high chance, from what was said by Liza May, that Disc 2 and Disc 4 are released at the same time. So, take of that what you will. I might be a little obscure right now because I know some things. I know some dev knowledge here, so I'm gonna be quiet. But yeah, it's called Blood. I actually didn't know that. Maybe I don't know anything. I definitely don't know anything. It's called Blood. Okay. So Blood is a tarot card. I think. Yeah, it is a tarot card. That's about it. Blood. That's definitely foreboding. And then Disc 4, speaking of tarot cards, is House of Tarot. So Disc 2 is taking place on this day of the job that we are all dreading. And then the next day is Disc 4, so after the job, supposedly. I actually don't know, like, I guess it would be to assume, like, you know, sci-spec jobs might not take 1 day, so we'll see. But yeah, Disc 4, House of Tarot on Mare Day, start of the new week. And it goes on for multiple days here. Wow, okay. So yeah, not every disc will be 1 day. We've got Disc 4, Disc 4, Disc 4, Disc 4, and Disc 4. The end of Disc 4 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Okay, so that is interesting. Then we go to Disc 5, which is multiple days. Oh my god. Also, I should have said, there's no Disc 3. That's intentional. Like, because this is a stupid number. That's literally the reason. It's a sucky number. So we're going from Disc 1 to 2, 4. And then Disc 5 is just called Ad Nauseam? Are you serious right now? What the heck? So House of Tarot makes you think of House of Cards. Disc 5 Ad Nauseam. Shit, okay. They said the name. That's the thing in the name of the name. They said it. Ad Nauseam. This is Adna 2. Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, yeah, because this is the first game. Takes place in this time period. Then the next game starts. Ad Nauseam, Disc 5. For 1 day, 2 day. On the 3rd day, Sindine returns, which will probably be, I mean, no idea what's going to happen. I'm very blind going forward. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. And then the next day, it ends. The next day is day 6, Runneth Over. Apparently, Disc 7 is here, but it got deleted by this website. Well, it'll get put back. Apologies. But Disc 7 is entirely on this day. So when you see a disc with 1 day, right, like with Disc 0 and Disc 1 that we know, it seems like that 1 day has like a massive, there's a lot of shit happening on that day. So I can only assume that this day is gonna be intense, just like disc 6. Same with disc 5, right? Because Cindy's coming back. That's not gonna be good. So this day of disc 5 is gonna be hell. This, I don't know, disc 7, disc 6, gonna be intense days. And then we have Promise Me, which is the end of Adna 2, which goes on Promise Day. So the names are connected here. It's probably a disc about Promise Day. And it goes from here to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it ends. And the rest, unless they are also not showing, seems to be obscured. I can imagine just to not show all the cards just yet. But obviously it's all planned out because who knows? The rest of the game can go from here and then loop into the next year, and then who knows how long, like how far it's gonna go. So yeah, that's fun. So let's learn about Promise Day, which is a holiday, but also seems to be pretty tied to the last disc of Adna 2. And oh yeah, Liza May is saying that it's hidden, so this is purposely hidden from us, which is very intriguing, and I like that. Promise Day, according to the deep web, Eden and Era were the first girls to love each other so much that they swore to spend an eternity together, promising their entire lives. Eden and Era were said to have discovered love in a time during the early Dark Age when people were still learning about new emotions. What does that mean? Okay, deep web obviously makes you think of what we have on the Earth, of the dark web and the deep web. But it's obviously probably way different because the internet in Adna is already really different. We don't really know how it works. It seems to be like almost two internets. There's like the internet, and then there's like the Providence internet. And Providence is like also weird. It's really weird. We don't know. That's basically what I'm saying is we have no we don't have a lot of idea how it works. But deep web, I can imagine it could be a real place, but I'm just gonna assume it's the internet. It's some kind of deeper, darker internet, you know, unregistered maybe, or anonymous, or not connected to Providence. That's probably what it is. Maybe I could be wrong. Anyway, so yeah, rumors on the internet. Eden and Era, which names. These are names of people. If this is true, these are the names of people in the Dark Age. And that's interesting because we, to our knowledge, don't know any names from the Dark Age. They could be very different because we know Chica has a weird name. Serene seems to have a weird name. Jay has a name that's, rooted in Old Font. These names both start with E. Okay, so... And if these people are from a very early time in the Dark Age where people are still learning new emotions, now the wording is so vague here, like, which is intentional. Like, learning new emotions is this like, if you think about like, at some point in history and society, people had to like kind of understand emotions, right? Like how people discovered math, right? They discovered these mental concepts, right? Like obviously, okay. Scenario number 1, these people had emotions, obviously. These people knew about, like, they had sadness and love and stuff, but, on the first day of existence or whatever, like, they may not feel anger, they might not feel love. These two people, allegedly, were the first people to experience love. And they promised to each other that they would spend an eternity together their entire lives. Which I wonder if they're still alive. That would be crazy if they were. It's possible because it's Adna. They could still be alive in love somewhere. That would be the sweetest thing. I hope they didn't meet some horrible death in the Dark Age. So yeah, that's scenario 1. Scenario 2 is a bit more fantastical. Is like, maybe emotions, they didn't have these emotions and they kind of learned them or created them, because when it gets to stuff this far back, it can be really crazy. Like, we don't really know, right? Like, are these people more than just individuals? Are they more like godlike? Or did they like create love? Did they like conceive it into the world. I don't know. My brain goes to the first scenario first, but it could be that these people, them learning about love, kind of unlocked it for everyone, right? We don't know, because this is. I mean, I'm assuming the Dark Age is really long. There could be an age before it, but yeah. Anyway, beside all that, this is really cute. And Eden Era is cool. Era, and like those names are so interesting too. Like Eden, I mean, the first thing you think about is like the Garden of Eden. And Era is like era, like an era. So these names are both really interesting. So yeah. I'm very curious. The name Eden is super curious to me as well. That's interesting. Because Eden. Okay, wait, no. Anyway, to honor this love, on Promise Day, people bake a heart-shaped cake for someone they love. This cake is also to be accompanied by a letter vowing one's love for the other. This cake is given to the love interest at 6 p.m., after which she may read the letter and decide to accept or not. 6 p.m.? Why 6 p.m.? That's specific. That's really... Is this has to do with the mythology? Why 6 p.m.? Is the number 6, or is the time 6 p.m. have to do with love? Because if that's true, I mean, you think about it and I, has 6 is very important, and that game's about love, right? Which would be sweet. Like, so yeah, the 6 p.m. thing is very interesting, the number 6. Keep an eye on it. Let's see. After 6 p.m., she may read the letter and decide to accept or not. You bake a cake, heart cake, heart-shaped cake for someone they love. That's really sweet. Cake is also accompanied by a letter vowing one's love for the other. Okay, so it's like cooler than Valentine's Day. So far, you're confessing to someone. Or if you're in love with someone, you're making them a sweet thing and writing them a really sweet letter. Which everyone should already do. Or to give your wonderful lover wonderful letters once a year. It's a beautiful thing. An accepting woman will take the first bite of the cake, showing that they're willing to take the other's heart, while the remainder of the cake is shared with their friends. Okay, wait a second. Are you doing this around other people? That's crazy. That's brave. I respect the bravery. Because what if she says no? And everyone's like, oh, time to eat the cake. Like, so yeah, so basically, the girl you're confessing to, your partner, you're lucky, will take the first bite of the cake because she owns your heart first. It seems that's what this is symbolizing. While your friends, you also care about your friends. You love them too. They fill up the rest of your heart, you know? Essentially, your heart, your priority in your heart is mostly filled with your lover, while the rest is your friends, which, I mean, hell yeah, I agree with that. She keeps the cake, if a girl's rejected, she keeps the cake to herself. Damn. It seems like the cake, like, you could do this in front of other people, or you can, leave and share. Like, you have your time with your partner, and then you can go with everyone else and celebrate and eat with them, Every year on Promise Day, an existing promised couple must make a new promise to each other to hold up, in addition to any past promises made. Okay, so yeah. So then on Promise Day, when you're dating someone and you are promised, right? You make a new promise. You just make a promise to them, like, oh, I promise to always read you a bedtime story every night, and that's your promise. And then the next year you make a new promise, and you add these up over and over, and you keep these promises to your lover. If a promise is broken, the breaker must bake enough cake for their partner and all of their friends and start again with a new promise, adding another each year from the bottom. Okay, so yeah, the punishment is you bake a cake for your partner and your friends. And all their friends, okay. Being promised to another is purely a Promise Day tradition and does not exist culturally outside of the holiday. One's relationship is not gauged on contracts or laws, but be the number and quality of years the partners have spent together since becoming promised. So yeah, it's not like marriage. It's not a law. It's just a fun culture thing, you know, which is sick. It's cool. Promise Day is the largest holiday in Sanatoria, effectively being a Sanatoria-wide anniversary for all couples. That's sweet. So many places prepare amazing spectacles, light shows, and amusement attractions for lovers and their friends to an extreme extent. Singles are encouraged to tag along with their closest friends and cheer or tease to promised couples, often or soften a rejection with a load of fun. That's so sweet. That's cute. We need the promise episode. Hold on. This is gonna be so cute. Like, oh, that's gonna be so sweet. That is a really sweet holiday. I need a whole anime episode. Going to festivals, light shows, and all this stuff would be really sweet. Wow, that's cute. And all the companies and businesses are celebrating. I like a lot that this is the most important holiday in ad nauseam, or in Sanatoria ad nauseam. Like, that's really sweet. That's really cute. That says a lot about the people. And it says a lot about the game. It's really in the relationship. It's a Yuri, you know, it's very important. And all that mushy gushy like love break your heart and not like in a bad way, but like, you know, your heart's gonna explode with love. It's gonna get you. Especially in this game, I have a suspicion. That's such a good way for this calendar to stop here. That's such a good note to like be excited about. Is this will be a huge day. Everyone come here. The Jika enjoyers stand up. Piamat enjoyers stand up. Yuffie enjoyers stand up. Leda enjoyers stand up. Everyone, I'm forgetting someone. Claire enjoyers stand up. And the Serene enjoyers, of course. We must all hold hands, and we will pray and jump for joy and cheer on this day. Okay, this day will be amazing. It'll go down in history. It's gonna be so much fun. We're gonna get kisses. We're gonna get more, I'm suspecting. Like, it's gonna be the most gushy mushy thing. It's gonna be the best fucking Yuri moments in all of history. Oh, it's gonna be great. And then we need to celebrate these days in real life too. Everyone make sure that you celebrate Promise Day. See, that's so cool because the Anna fans now, like, stop me if I'm going ahead of myself, but all the Anna fans, we can celebrate these things. Like, I want to have Promise Day. I want to do Corpus Amor and Ars Festum, the Media Day. Like, that's such a good idea. So if you, like, I don't know, that's just something to put out there with your partner, your friends. You can celebrate this stuff. That's so cool. It's definitely going to be on my mind. That's sick. This is awesome. So exciting. Also, the single Serene route, if that's even a thing or possible, I'm very curious what the hell is gonna happen on the, like, is it gonna be really depressing, like she's got no one, or is it gonna be, no, it's not, it's gonna be super sweet, isn't it? It's still gonna freaking crush your heart with how sweet it is, because you're gonna maybe you'll get a special scene with everyone, like all your friends, instead of like just focusing on your partner. Or maybe, I mean, I think you'll probably get, it's just gonna be so much fan service. And I'm here at the table, we're all at the table. The Yuffie enjoyers are on the kids' table, they're ripping apart their plates. The Jika enjoyers are at the fucking fine dining. And we're all sitting here with our fork and knife, and we're ready to eat. Because this is gonna be such a feast. It's gonna be so good. Liza's saying it's also a friend love day. They are there to make it a happy day with purpose even when single. Yes, I did not mention that. Or like, yeah, you are correct. It's gonna be a friend time. For sure. I can, if I had to suspect what the disc is going to be like, is you're going to get your huge scene, climax, pun intended, with your partner, and then the before and after of the disc will be with the whole group, and with a lot of characters and fan service and stuff. And if you don't have a partner, then that big climax scene will be replaced with something special, friend stuff. And yeah, also, Liza said definitely, so it seems like I'm on the right track. So yeah, we'll get a unique scene, is what she said. Awesome. So yeah, that's the fucking calendar. I'm so excited. This is so wonderful. What's my favorite holiday? Favorite holiday has to be Rise Over Avalis, but oh, I mean, Promise Day is so good. Like I don't know. Rise Over Avalis, I think, is the coolest, most creative, and unique one. Promise Day, I think, would be the most special and unique. Like, I think Promise Day would elicit the most joy from me if I was living in Sanatoria, if these were real. Like, it would fulfill me. It would be such an awesome, beautiful day that would, like, seriously impact me, like, on a positive note, you know? While Rise Over Abyss would just be so fascinating and just pure fun and, like, so sweet and warm. And also for Rise Over Abyss, I'm just gonna bring my wife with me. So it'll be a second Promise Day. So yeah. It's fucking awesome. Favorite season? My favorite season is gonna be this one, Iridil, because of the weather and because of Promise Day. I like that it's cold during Promise Day. You get to snuggle up and get all warm and cuddly with your hot cocoa and shit. That's great. I think Iridil is my favorite month. It also sounds cool. Iridil, it just sounds cool. Abyss is also a huge favorite month of mine because of Serene and the purple and the squid stuff, right? And the start of everything. The rise over Abyss is a huge. These two are for sure my favorites. Which, yeah, and they're like the beginning and the end of the year. From Liza May, she's saying Iridil is like the embodiment of a 4 a.m. stroll at night with chilly, cool wind, the perfect temp for a hoodie, devoid of bugs or sound. It's ghostly. I love it. It's for sure my favorite month then. I fucking love Iridil. Like, the holiday, one of the best. Promise Day and Rise Over Abyss are my two tops. They're probably tied, you know? The start of Adna, that's super cool. The ghostliness of Iridil, as it's been described. Even just on these days where nothing's going on, like, I would just be like, in being in the clinic, it's so comfy. You can be in your little room and you can listen to music and it's cold and it's ghostly. You can go on a stroll. Everything's dim. 10 out of 10 month. Mary, you did it again. Liza May, you did it again. Beautiful. Oh my god. I think that's everything. I think we did it. How long have I been recording? I've been recording for an hour and almost a half. Well, it was a very fun time and I'm super excited. This is so much. We're eating so good. To those fanfic writers, come on, we need it. We need the Promise Day fanfics. We need the Rise Over. We need all this, please. I need it. I need the Jika and Serene go to the festival, and they get to eat fun food. They get to share a thing, and then their hands touch. Like, come on, someone, please. If you don't do it, I'll do it. Okay, that's not a promise. Maybe. But yeah, this is some really amazing stuff. I'm very happy and very satisfied. So everyone, let me be a silly goose here. Forgive me, please. Tell me in the comments. I want to know your favorite season, your favorite holiday, and make sure to comment, thank you, Liza May, for creating this. This is sick. Not only did she make this wonderful world and this wonderful game, she also made this wonderful calendar. And it'll be updated as time goes by, so if you see an update, You know, it might be announced, maybe it won't be. So if you see it, if you see something, say something in the Discord. If you don't know what Adna is and you made it to the end of the video, congrats. Go play the game. Go play Idanai. It's free. Go play Adna. It's cheap, you know, and it's way worth your time. And I guess you can probably tell by how freaking excited I've been just talking about days and months. Um, yeah, just play it. Join the Discord. Talk about it. And yeah, sorry, it's probably pretty obvious how like really happy and excited I am. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm full of too much energy. But this was awesome. So happy. Like I said a million times, thank you. Everyone say together, we all hold hands at the dining table. Everyone say thank you, Liza May. And yeah, that is it for this. I'll see you all next time. And stay delusional, pukers. Remember that from Adna at the end? That's it. Okay. Bye. I'm gonna hit the bye button now.